always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Time now for both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak.
Are you seeing it?
Both sides of the story. We always need to hear both sides of the story. 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 Yes, both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Come to me, O ye children, for I hear you at your play. And the questions that perplexed me have vanished quite away. Ye open the eastern windows that look towards the sun, where thoughts are singing swallows, and the brooks of morning run. In your hearts are the birds, and the sunshine in your thoughts the brooklets flow. But in mine is the autumn and the first fall of the snow. Ah, what would the world be to us if the children were no more? We should dread the desert behind us, worse than the dark. What the leaves are to the forest, food, ere their sweet and tender juices have been hardened into wood. That our children, through them it feels the glow of a brighter and sunnier climate than reaches the trunks below. Come to me, O ye children, and whisper in my ear what the birds and the winds are singing in your sunny atmosphere. For what are all our contrivings and the wisdom of our books when compared with your caresses and the gladness of your looks? Ye are better than all the ballads that ever were sung or said, for ye are living poems, and all the rest are dead.
Don't stand in the doorway of Palaka, the hall where David gets hurt with he who has gone. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon take your windows and rattle your winds. They are a chain.
Throughout the land, and don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. The road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. For the times they are a changing. The line is drawn, the city's passed. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly aging, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are changing. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 18th day of the 5th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets, those cereals grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. The American Hospital Association and affiliated American health organizations are marking May as Mental Health Awareness Month, Stroke Awareness Month, Arthritis Awareness Month, Better Hearing and Speech Month, Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, Global Employee Health and Fitness Month, Healthy Vision Month, Hepatitis Awareness Month, Melanoma, Skin Cancer Detection and Prevention Month, Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month, Celiac Disease Awareness Month, High Blood Pressure Education Month, Osteoporosis Awareness and Month, Pregnancy Prevention Month, and Older Americans Month. The month of May is being observed here in Jamaica as National Exporters Month, Child Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Education Month, and Workers Month. In fact, this week is Workers' Week, and it's being observed under the theme celebrating 85 years of labor relations in Jamaica. The week started Monday, the 15th of May, 2023, with a mounting of a Workers' Week display at the Labour Ministry's offices at 1F North Street in Kingston. On display are storyboards chronicling the history of the week, the labor riots in Jamaica, and the outcomes of those uprisings. On Tuesday, the 16th of May, there was a wreath-laying exercise at the Aggie Bernard Workers' Monument at the Kingston Craft Market around 10 in the morning. The monument is significant because it memorializes the Kingston waterfront riots, where people were talking about fair wages and decent work conditions. The outgoing Portfolio Minister, Carl Samuda, yesterday hosted a town hall for members of the Industrial Security Guard sector from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Chinese Benevolent Association of Jamaica, Old Hope Road in St. Andrew. Well, that's one of the scheduled events. Uh, can't confirm at this stage if that was held. But meanwhile, the Workers' Park in Frome, Westmoreland, is the venue for Cultural Day activities today. Those who have been able to, well, those who turn up today, this afternoon, and have been turning up from this morning, they have been able to apply for labor and social services, such as the National Insurance Scheme, NIS Program of Advancement through Health and Education, Path Benefits, or Employment. Members of the Ministry's Labor Market Information System, LMIS, people to register on the platform, which was skills matching with job opportunities. The day's activities are being executed in partnership with the Tourism Product Development Company, TPD Co. Tomorrow, Friday, May 19, a Labor Relations Awards banquet will be held to recognize people who've given invaluable service to labor relations. The National Workers' Week Labor Day Church service will take place on Sunday, May 21st, at the Church of the Open Bible, Washington Boulevard, St. Andrew, starting at 10 in the morning. The Labor Ministry, in partnership with the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, has been executing Workers' Week activities which culminate on Labor Day, Tuesday, the 23rd of May. It's International Day for Women in Maritime under the theme Mobilizing Networks for Gender Equality. It's also the 7th UN Global Road Safety Week. There's a call this year for policymakers to hashtag rethink mobility in order to make walking, cycling, and public transport safe and convenient so that people can make the shift to active, sustainable mobility. And let's remember that this week is also Salt Awareness, non Alumondia on a Flag and University Day. Is being remembered in Uruguay, and the people of Turkmenistan are celebrating Revival and Unity Day. It's International Museum Day.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:15. Join the Kingston and St. Andrew Association of Brand Societies in association with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, for AgriFest 2023, Saturday, May 27th. Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Playfield in Hope Gardens. Come see agricultural, industrial, and culinary displays and much more. Admission adults $1,000, children $500. Gate prize weekend for two at Sanders Resort. That's AgriFest 2023, Saturday, May 27th.
Good af- Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9 from Moran Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. Good afternoon to Ricardo Porteous. He says, good afternoon, Dervan, Malcolm, and thank God for life. And shout out to all the listeners from across the world. Nicola in central Jamaica says, good afternoon to you too, Nicola. Sophia Nemad in Newell, St. Elizabeth, welcome. Rose Simpson, good afternoon to you as well. And thank you very much for joining us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. And let's check in with some of the messages that have come in so far. The usual promotional messages. Well, we'll just hop, skip, and jump over those and get to the ones relevant to the program today. So let's go down the line here and let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Malcolm, pleasant good afternoon to your listener.
Good afternoon, Mr. Coombs.
I never remember the complete argument the other day properly about Lessing Ward. The new hospital opened 1950 June 1950 by Sir John Huggins.
The what?
And that will be hospital, the new one. The new one opened 1950 June 1950 by Sir John Huggins. And the old one, me did admit the old one, 1955. There's some count on my head, but me never read that. But me remember pictures when the hospital opened, the new one, because the doctor get killed by tram car, then give one of the ward, the Lessing Ward. And somebody called me, remind me, said, one of the ward, the Lessing Ward, the open one Friday. I went up there to take injection for wing room. And Miss Lady Huggins, they were sharing cream, ice cream and biscuit and anything after. We get family line food and get ice cream. So the other one, you Lessing Ward, because they get a doctor Lessing. All right, number 2. I never remember to tell you about the road license. So you was at the stadium. Never remember when the policeman tell you everything about the carrier's license. And so people, because Mr. Malcolm, people don't want to abide to the rules. Enough of them. But when you buy a vehicle, you take about a week or 2, you know. You set it up. And 1976, me buy old truck and fix up and sell. And me not see nothing like Mr. Malcolm, nothing hard. But it's only because now, since I've had the old license, what about, you have 16 or 18,000. With a van and truck, you all of my same thing. But first time road license was $2. Let me tell you, when every April, you road license up now, we renew it. And when you go to tax office, you pay $2 and pull up your farm and get it. But it's because I'm money making now. So, well, we have time to we have one with the correction. And you see one and the road license in there. So, when you see nothing hard, like people are going. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Thanks for the call. Take care.
Thank you.
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And Jem Maudry, otherwise known as Kim, says, "Good afternoon, Dervan. Simon is so mischievous." Simon can only be Simon. And let's see. Good afternoon to Angelia Christian in the UK. Also coming out of the UK, James in East London clearly has a lot of news items to cover. He has been sharing with us a long list of stories coming out of the UK, which we will look at in due time. Hello to Inez Ayona Campbell. She says, "Good afternoon, my wonderful people." Good afternoon, Inez. Cherry Henry says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a great afternoon." Same to you, Cherry Henry. Thank you very much for your message. Keep those messages coming in on 876 922 4112 to 5. Well, those would be more like calls. Your messages to our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Let's take a look at some of the stories trending on the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website. UK Privy Council rules term extension for local government representatives in Trinidad unlawful. And that's something a decision we might want to pay attention to. It says the United Kingdom-based Privy Council on Thursday ruled that the move by Dr. Keith Rowley led administration to extend the term of local government representatives by a is unlawful. In the ruling, the law lords upheld an appeal over the dismissal of a lawsuit challenging the move brought by political activist Ravi Balgobin Maharaj. In a majority decision, 3 law lords, led by UK Supreme Court President Lord Robert Reid, ruled that High Court Judge Jacqueline Wilson and the Court of Appeal got it wrong when they dismissed Maharaj's case. 2 law lords agreed with the local courts and provided a dissenting judgment. This means that the government must call local government elections. Those in the majority ruled that change in terms of representatives, as contained in the Miscellaneous Local Government Reform Act, which was passed by Parliament without the support of the opposition last year, could not apply to representatives elected in 2019. They said that the Parliament should have used clear and unambiguous language to indicate so, but it did not. If Parliament had intended to give the government such a power, it is reasonable to expect that it would have done so expressly. The legislation does not do so, nor does it appear that any consideration was given to this possibility in any of the steps which led to the changes made in local government by the 2022 Act, said Lord Richards, who wrote the majority judgment. He and his colleagues also rejected the government's suggestion that the change was a minor one. The continuation in office of elected representatives for a year, an increase of 1/3 in their term without reference to the electorate, does not seem to the board to be modest, he said. In his lawsuit, Maharaj claimed he became concerned after Rural Development and Local Government Minister Faris Al-Rahi hosted a press conference and announced the government's intention to proclaim certain sections of the legislation. The sections of the legislation identified by Al-Rahi sought to increase the terms of councillors from 3 years to 4 years. It effectively caused the deferral of the election.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
Bingo! RGR Gleaner Net Rollers. Big money bingo! Thousands of dollars to be won from TTJ Motors, Globe, Scope, Travel Vacations, and Bright Diamond Funeral Services and Supplies. Look your prizes. Chassis Ramson, Tranback Tonic Wine, Rock World Appliances and Phone, Rooted by Mel Salon, Unit Autotech Jamaica, Carib Equipment Maintenance and Supplies Limited, Chemical Choices, Quick Gas. It's Friday, May 26th at RGR Gleaner North Street. Yes, May 26th, North Street at 7 p.m. Enough vibes and surprises at Big Money Bingo.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
So the decision taken effectively caused the deferral of the election, that local government election, which would be due between December last year and March this year, had the amendment not been proclaimed. Maharaj contended that Al-Ra'i misinterpreted the effect of the legislation when he announced plans to apply it to incumbent councillors and aldermen, as he claimed that it did not have a retroactive effect. Maharaj's case was dismissed by Justice Jacqueline Wilson last year, presenting submissions before the Privy Council. Anand Ramlogan of Freedom Law Chamber stated that Parliament should have clearly stated whether the amendment applied to local government representatives who were elected in late 2019. And the story goes on. So it would suit us to pay attention to that decision of the Privy Council and potential implications for local government election decisions in Jamaica. And there's another story here in the Jamaica-Gleaner.com news. St. Andrew teen mom baby reported missing. The police are seeking the public's help to locate a 15-year-old girl and her 10-month-old daughter reported missing. Latonia Barrett and her child, Angelique Brissett, have not been seen or heard from since Tuesday, May 16. We trust mother and child are in fact safe, but we'll continue to monitor this situation. Also making the news, Canadian airline WestJet starts to cancel flights as pilot strike looms. So WestJet pilots getting ready to strike, and that naturally will lead to quite a number of cancellations. 100 pounds of ganja seized in Hanover is another story. Power outage in Portland communities due to downed utility pole. And for those who had asked the question some time ago, well, since some time has elapsed, we can respectfully ask the question now: what was the cost of Queen Elizabeth II's funeral? The UK government has published data showing that the cost of the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II was £162 million. £162 million. Also making the news on the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website, 4 shot, 2 fatally at gaming outlet in St. James. condolences to the family of the deceased. The loss of any life is to be regretted. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. 3 at Martha Bray Trelawney, close to the Sugar and Banana areas, Hugh Lawson Shearer. Hugh Shearer attended St. Simon's College as a parish scholarship winner. He joined the BITU's staff in April 1941, attached to the union's weekly paper, Jamaica Worker. His first promotion came in 1943, under Bustamante, newly released from detention camp, took over editorship of the paper and took Hugh Shearer under his wings from then. As Bustamante became more involved with the Jamaica Labour Party, Mr. Shearer went on to further promotion within the union and acquired a government trade union scholarship in 1947-48. Moved into the political field when he was elected a councillor of the KSAC in 1947. He was appointed island supervisor of the BU and elected vice president of the union at around the same time. He was elected to the House of Representatives as a member for Western Kingston 1955 to 1959, and on being defeated was appointed to the Legislative Council. He was a member of the Senate and its leader from 1962 to 1967, at the same time filling the role of Jamaica's chief spokesman on foreign affairs as deputy chief of mission at the United Nations. In 1967, he was elected MP for Southern Clarendon and appointed Prime Minister on the death of Sir Donald Sangster in 1967. As a trade unionist, he had a distinguished career, particularly as a negotiator. His trade union activities have served him in good stead, having brought him through the years into contact with a wide cross-section of the community, workers, civil servants, employers, traders, associations, giving him a wide knowledge of social and economic conditions in fields that matter fundamentally to Jamaican life. In the political field, he was at the same time prominent as a JLP representative and political activity with the union program, and after Bustamante was recognized as the JLP spokesman for the working class sector of the community. Due to Bustamante's increasing involvement with government, Mr. Shearer took over complete charge of the BITU, and this made him a force to be reckoned with in JLP councils. He held a seat in the JLP executive as the leading representative of the BITU and was a position of strength. That was a position of strength. As a prime minister, 1967 to 1972, he presided over Jamaica's most productive years. During this period, 3 new alumina refineries and 3 large convention hotels were constructed or started. These formed the base of today's mining and tourism industries, now the largest foreign exchange earners. Also, Mr. Shearer is credited with changing the face or the pace of education in Jamaica with his program to double secondary school enrollment. 50 new secondary schools were built as a result. On the international scene, Mr. Shearer in 1963 initiated the movement in the United Nations for declaring 1968 as the International Year of Human Rights, celebrated worldwide. Mr. Shearer also piloted the move to have Jamaica selected as headquarters for the Law of the Sea Authority. Indeed, Hugh Shearer can claim glory. He spent over 50 years in service to his country and in pursuit of the great future he envisioned for his homeland and the greater world community. He died on July 4, 2004, at the age of 81. Tenders were invited by the colonial secretary for the lease for an indeterminate period of the government's sisal plantation and fiber factory at Lititz, although the Germans would say Litz. The plantation of 1,000 acres was situated in Manchester and St. 1,000 gallons serves. The factory is equipped with electric lights, and there is a portable light railway with trucks and a gasoline locomotive. The crop in 1926 was 109 tons. Sisal, SISAL, is a Mexican agave or agave plant cultivated for its large fleshy leaves, which yield a stiff fiber used for making rope. Also, Samuel Carter, 17-year-old student of St. Simon's College, and Edwin Watkins, aged 18, of the same college, passed the London matriculation examination, which they sat for January. Watkins gained the distinction of being the only boy candidate to pass in the first division. Both students also passed the Cambridge Junior and School Certificate examinations in first class. A housekeepers and general workers union organized by H. Speedy Gordon to address conditions affecting these categories of workers was launched at Edelweiss Park in Crossroads, St. Andrew. The meeting was addressed by Florizel Glasspool, General Secretary of the Trade Union, and I. Curlew of Jamaica Fair. Alan Douglas, member of the House of Representatives for Northern Trelawney, tendered his resignation on this day in 1951 to the Jamaica Labour Party as a mark of protest against the decision by the government not to build the Falmouth Hospital. No funds for constructing the hospital were in the estimates which had been presented to the House, and Douglas said he was assured that this was to have been the fourth hospital constructed after Anotta Bay, Spanish Town, and Morant Bay. The Christian College at Lawrence Tavern in St. Andrew opened a new 3-story building, ward hall, with a girls' dormitory, staff quarters, and a dining hall. This rural secondary school was first opened in January 1948 under the Association of Christian Churches, Disciples of Christ, in conjunction with the United Missionary Society. It began with 5 students and eventually got to 57. H. Lawrence Lindo, a principal assistant secretary in the Colonial Secretary's Office, was appointed administrator of Dominica by the British Colonial Office on secondment to the Eastern Caribbean island. Lindo, a former Rhodes Scholar, educated at Jamaica College and Oxford University. He was a former inspector of schools and assistant information officer during World War II. Another Jamaican civil servant who had been seconded to the Eastern Caribbean was P.W. Beckwith, an assistant secretary in the Colonial Secretary's Office, who eventually became financial advisor to the government of the Eastern West Indian Islands. Let's go to the phone lines once again. Call coming through on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. We'll take the call after the break.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Your taxes hold the key.
Property owners, let's get unit, NCB Online Banking and Scotia Online and Mobile App. Call 888-TAX-HELP. That's 888-829-4357. Or visit jamaicatax.gov.jm for details.
Did you know that the flu can lead to hospitalization and even pregnant women, persons 60 years and older, babies and children, and persons with a chronic illness such as diabetes, asthma, or heart disease are at a high risk for complications from the flu. Get the flu vaccine today. Visit your nearest health center and ask to be vaccinated. The flu is no joke. A message from the
And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand. For the times they are a change.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. Let's go to this caller on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Dervan. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Not too bad, man. Good afternoon to your listeners and your callers. I just want to say to you, this caller yesterday attacking me. I don't know why he chose to attack me. Telling me I've been calling all over the place. There are a lot of people call it every day and call Power 106 every day. I'm a habitual caller from Perkins Online. But you chose to attack me. Okay. First of all, I'm not a JLP or PMP. I don't have a green on my head. I am taking up for the people of Jamaica. I'm taking up for my country that I know can do better. Okay? A lot of people came out and literally against this. Literally, I call it just ridiculous pay raise that these people gave themselves. But he chose to attack me because, of course, he's a JLP. I'm probably a JLP too, but I don't care because I don't care who the guy is. As you always said, Bob said, I don't care who the guy is. It could be my brother. I don't know how these people go to bed at night, Dervan, knowing that they're getting 30 to 40 times what the average Jamaican are getting for their pay. I don't know how they do it. And I want to say to you, Dervan, you know, there are a lot of people over here, because it seems to me like it was calling from over here. They come to Jamaica once a year. They come there and they spend between $3,000-$5,000, and they go to Negril, they go to Montego Bay, they go to New Kingston. Okay, they go to all nice places and they come back and say, yeah man, Jamaica nice. I mean, yeah, I know Jamaica is a beautiful place, but you have to come there and start to do business there. Come when you go there and you start to mingle with the local people, then you find out how things are in Jamaica. Okay? So when you're going to come and criticize me, I don't know who you are, but when you're going to criticize me, I know because I've been to Jamaica. I used to come to Jamaica before the pandemic, like 5, 6, 7 times a year. So I know what's going on in Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah, well, people will always express themselves one way or another. Once you know that your thoughts are pure and your discussion points are based on your own thoughts on the on the matters of state, especially with respect to the salary increases or the enhanced compensation packages. You're free to express yourself any day, and he's also free to express himself.
But you know what? When I get to Dervan, don't attack me. Attack the message. If I say, remember, I said to you, New York. I didn't say America. America's a huge place. 50 states. Within those 50 states, within New York, there are probably, I don't know, several police jurisdictions. Long Island, Suffolk, and Nassau County. You have upstate New York that I don't know nothing about. I said in New York City, I was talking about New York City. If you call, and especially if a weapon, if you were to draw a weapon at you call the police, one of you guys going to jail. He's saying that I'm lying. You live in New York City. If you live in New York, anybody live in New York City probably can call and confirm, because they take domestic violence here very seriously. And I was just saying, I'm not saying it has to be like here. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying, in Jamaica, they need to take it more seriously. And it's not about wife and husband only, or girlfriend, boyfriend, uncle, his own uncle and nephew, brothers and brothers, okay, sisters and brother, a cousin and cousin, okay. It needs to be taken more seriously. When the police gets there, figure what's going on. If one person needs to leave, if charging need to press, if you have to go through the system, so that, guess what? You prevent somebody from getting killed. That's all I was saying. He's attacking me and telling me no. I'm talking garbage. I don't know if you live in New York City. Maybe you live in a different state. I don't know. But when you choose to attack me because I've gone to your labor right. And Dervan, let me tell you something before I go here. Eddie Siaga, I admire Eddie Siaga. I don't think Eddie Siaga would have done nothing like this. I don't think. So you can't tell me who I am, but I don't care who the guy is. I am not a person about JLP or PMP. I'm a person about my country. My country. I want to see my country better off. We are the number one murder rate per capita. We have the lowest GDP per capita. But I heard Ralston Iman talking to Crystal today about we right now our leaders are going to get the highest pay in the Caribbean, but we have the lowest GDP per capita. How is that possible? As I was saying yesterday, but this guy is going to come and criticize me, criticize the message. I don't care who the guy is, Dervan. I don't care. We have to do better. You can't give yourself this huge raise while police have to put themselves on the line. Nurses. I heard talk about nurses treating people. Try to deal with a cancer patient. You know, cancer is one of those wicked diseases. A family member, close family member died from cancer. It's one of those diseases that if you're not strong, you can't deal with that. Okay? Teachers have to deal with these kids who are very rude, come from different backgrounds. What about these people who are making 10 to 15,000 US a year? On average. That's what I'm concerned for. Not about labor right at PMP.
Yeah, your position is quite clear.
No, but have a nice day, man. I'm taking these. Thanks
You
a lot
too.
for listening to me.
Sure. Thanks for the call.
Yeah,
Take care.
Yeah, cool.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 876-364-1125. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And let's go to a couple more messages. Well, here's Joan Edgehill. Hello to you, Joan Edgehill in Central Florida. Good to see you online. All the best. Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois says, good afternoon, Ambassador Malcolm. I have noticed that you do not say persons. Neither do I. I learned that the proper grammar is one person, more than one people. So it is, Dr. Dunn. So it is. Jeannie Chambers says, good afternoon, teacher. To you too, Jeannie Chambers. Norman Hines says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. Here at the St. Thomas Hillview Kinder Prep School Sports Day. Big up the school for me. Well, we just did big up to St. Thomas Hillview Kinder Prep on your sports day. Have fun and all the very best. Let's hop across to the WhatsApp messages now. Let's see what we have. 876-365-3346. In the meantime, the lines are open to you. 876-922-4112. 922-411225. The person who sent us the message about the 15-year-old, we would need a little more than that before reading this message. We want to get a better understanding of this situation. Because if you have that kind of information, the best person to go to is the police, the unit of the police department that deals with those matters. Naturally, if you, depending on your situation, you might also want to see someone who can assist you from a health standpoint or medical standpoint, as also a psychological standpoint, because that's a serious matter. So please do your best and see if you can get the help that you need. This one says, good afternoon, Dervan. Who pays for Queen Elizabeth funeral? Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Time come now for our Jamaican people must demonstrate peacefully and protest peacefully against the government in order to send a strong message to the government of Jamaica. We'll come back to your message in just a moment.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
When you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. All the time they are unchained.
Right, so the message from Cuban in Georgia. Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Time come now for our Jamaican people must demonstrate peacefully and protest peacefully against the government in order to send a strong message to the government of Jamaica. They must change. Time come. We need better performance and accountability from these unconscionable government Our people must take a stand against tyranny and bring some sanity back to Jamaica, says Cuban in Georgia. Thank you for your message, Cuban in Georgia. Here is Lloyd in Philadelphia. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, and good afternoon, Jamaica. One love. Thank you very much, Lloyd, for your message on WhatsApp, 876-365-3346. That's the text line, the WhatsApp number, and it's a straight line to us right here in studio as well. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir, good day.
So far, so good.
Yeah, man. The sunny day where I'm at today.
What's that?
No, I said where I'm at today is very sunny.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, man, I accept it.
Good.
Sun is that medicine now.
Vitamin D.
Yes. All kind of things happening now, Mr. Malcolm.
Things have always been happening.
Yeah, man, I used to go down the road here at car wash, and I used to enjoy the music the young guys and playing. A lot of them used to group up there. And after another day ago, I don't see any one of them. I understand the African music, them what they were used to play. As soon as they find out the meaning, because them say the meaning is that you are to go and look work and stop depending on our people. So they stop listening to them. You know, a lot of things happening. But this money business where people getting a lot of money. For me, to be honest with you, I pay my taxes up to date. And I don't owe any right now. And I don't know. I think I don't believe them. I don't care how much money a man gets in here, to be honest with you. What I care about is what the person do. And I expect the best policies from the government. And that's the time I want to quarrel. But long time ago, I find out that you can't buy your way to God. So even if you get $40 million a day, but me can't buy my way to God, we don't worry about money and them things. What me worry about is what the person do. And this little country here, I believe every civil servant in this country should put their country first before money. Because if you does not do that, you're going to left behind. I can remember I was doing something for a person at a place some years ago. And I didn't charge any money. And what the person gives to me, I tell you something, man. It is so valuable that I don't know that is going down with me. But our people, civil servants, must put the country first. Put your country first and everything will come after. And never you believe in getting money first. But I know that when you work you want to pay. I agree with that. But once you tell yourself, say you put your country first. Because to be honest with you, this world of money is going to drive you into judgment. We can't buy our way to God. We must try and live good. You understand? What is big problem in this country? Why am I know someone come? We tell you the truth. But me know me could have come to this. Me never know me could have come to this, me tell you the truth. Because right now, Mr. Malcolm, to what me see happening, I don't know how I'm going to live. I borrow a little money from the bank, and when I finish pay off, I worse off. Right? So I stopped many years ago. I can't forget, about 25 years ago, I borrowed 60,000. And when I pay back 90, they say me still owe 40. The banks in Jamaica, they line with lion and dragon. I tell you this, there is no help whatsoever. And let me tell you, I am saying it to all the civil servants. Just put your country first, and everything else will come after. Don't worry about this money, right? Because if you follow too much money, it's going to drive you into judgment. A peace we want. Put your country first. People that live over the years, I remember, used to work for this nurse. God bless what she used to get. She's not no more here with us. But let me tell you something, may she rest in peace. God bless what she used to get per month. And let me tell you, when you go there at the clinic, she look after you so good all the evening time, and she last live there. Because she don't wait to see if anybody don't come there with any emergency, you know, and all those things. What I want the government to do is to upgrade the Rambrel Clinic, turn it into a small hospital, and take the burden off a corner regional. There's lot of land space there, right? Right now I can get about 6 or 7 nurses, retired nurses. They're willing to work from England, right? Free. Once the equipment is in that clinic, these nurses will work there free. I guarantee you have about 6 of them right now when we work for. We're willing to work there free to help the people of this country. So, Mr. Tufton, upgrade Ramble Health Clinic. I am begging you. We can't continue on this path. You don't want a whole heap of money to do it, you know. The labor is around here. Right? Just set out the plan, man, and extend the thing. About 19 different districts depending on that health center. And it is just like about a size of a sedan car. Eh? We have to try to upgrade the things in the country, man. And stop worrying about this money. Right now, we should have at least 1,700 barrels of coconut water to ship next week. If you see when they have to dribble the coconut when we plant, Mr. Malcolm, they're touching each other, but they're still bearing. Because what? There's no land space. It's 40 feet apart to supposed to plant the coconut. And I have my one them 10 and 20 because I don't have enough land. Right? Those are the things that we need to expand, that we can export and start get foreign money and stop worrying about this money. Put the country first, man. And let us start to swap things too and cut out this money business. Right now, I wouldn't mind if I start swap from tomorrow and to hell with the judgment with money.
All right, we hear you. Thank you very much for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Here's a message from Richard. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. These guys who are against the increase that the parliamentarians got, if they were the prime minister of the country, would they refuse the salary increase? Asks Richard. Well, he has put it out there. We'll look out for the responses. 876-922-5. Those are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to the first timers, those who are joining us for the very first time. Welcome to those who our regular contributors. Good to have you on board here on both sides of the story. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls and 2411225 876 224112225. Still keeping an eye on a couple of the other stories that are trending, and we'll keep you abreast. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. The program, but the program is
I'm sorry, your line is not holding up at all. It sounds rather weak. Your phone line, your connection is not good. It's rather wavy. It's not. It doesn't have the kind of body that it needs to have for us to hear you clearly. Are you able to make any adjustments on your end?
I'm going to try. One more.
Your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's try the call again. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, that's a little better. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. I was saying that I was listening to a program this morning on 406. I don't remember the presenter or the guest, but I think he was a lawyer talking about human rights. Yes. So I wanted to comment on something that, because he was talking about the rights of Jamaica as it relates to the laws that they are implementing, so like long term in jail and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But at no time did he mention the rights of the people whose rights are being taken away by these killers and these criminals. I understand he's always seeming to be defending the perpetrators and not thinking about the people who are suffering the perpetrated act.
I'm sorry you didn't get an opportunity to speak during that segment with that guest online.
But the presenter also needs to ask him these questions because, I mean, people are suffering and you have your family and people are destroying your family by killing them. And then, I mean, I understand the constitutional rights of people, but everybody do have a right to live also and to live peacefully. So if you have people taking away your right to live peacefully, right? And then you only have people defending them all the way, and nobody to defend the person who are suffering.
Some could argue that you have a whole police force and you also have an army to defend you as a citizen, a respectable citizen of this country.
Yes. Yes, sir, but the thing is, the people who are perpetrating these acts, they also have the same army and the same police force.
Yes, because we're talking about human rights, and it can't be that we only think human rights are the preserve of only one set of people as opposed to everybody. It's really about everybody, including those we regard as being bad. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Welcome to Make We Talk Tax question and answer segment. In our previous interview, we got answers to questions such as who pays property tax, when it becomes due, and government regulations. We continue with more property tax questions from our taxpayers, where the focus is on property tax online query and payment options. Today we have with us Ms. Cardia Cephas, Taxpayer Education Officer. Cardia, welcome. Now, I want to pay my property tax, but I don't know how much to pay for the current and for you. Tell me, Cardia, how do I find my property tax?
All right. So what you can do, Leslie, is to log on to our webpage. So once you just go to our webpage at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm, scroll down to property tax query, select that, and then you'll be able to input your valuation number and you'll be able to check your balance there.
So, will I be able to view the outstanding years?
Yes, you can view up to 7 years on that page.
Okay. So, what if I'm unable to pay off my outstanding balance? Does TJ offer a service where I can make arrangements to pay the balance over a period of time?
Yes, you can come into our office and speak to one of our property tax officers. They will be able to negotiate the payment arrangement.
Oh, great. But, Cardia, do I have to go in the tax office to make these payments?
No, Leslie Ann, you don't. We offer a myriad of options to make your payments. So what you can do, create an online account on our TAJ page. You can use that online account to make your payment for property taxes. What you will do is log on to our page, username and your password. Then you will select pay property taxes. Once you select pay property taxes, you will be able to input your valuation number, and that's your 11-digit number. You can find it on your previous receipts that you have paid. Once you input that information, you can select the year for which you want to pay, then you can proceed. On this medium, you'll be able to use your Visa debit or your credit cards for payment. Also, we have our TAJ mobile app. So for persons using Android, you can download it from the Play Store. So you can pay via your TAJ mobile app. You also can pay using your Scotia online and mobile app, and also NCB online banking. And not lastly, but also TAJ, we continue to use our direct banking method. For this, you will go to our webpage, select from the forms direct banking payment advice. You will complete this payment advice. Then you will authorize your bank to make such payment. Use the confirmation and scan your direct banking payment advice. Then you're going to email these to direct deposits at taj.gov.jm.
Cardia, repeat the email that they're to send the advice to.
So you send the advice to direct deposits at taj.gov.jm. And one more thing, Leslie, we want to make it easy for our taxpayers. So we have a how to on our webpage. So when you select how to, you're going to scroll down to item number 21, pay property tax options, and it will be easy for you to make your payments online.
Wow, TAJ is indeed making it easier for us to pay our taxes. Let us use the various payment options to pay our property taxes. www.jamaicatax.gov.jm, NCB online banking, Scotia online or mobile app. And if you're an Android user, you can pay through TAJ's mobile app. If the property tax mobile unit is in your area, use the opportunity to pay. Thank you for tuning in to Make We Talk Tax. For further queries, Care Center at 888 Tax Help. That is 888-829-4357. Or visit our website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm. Tax Administration Jamaica, we are changing the way we do business by working together to serve you even better. Cardia, thank you so much. Have a great week.
Both sides of the story. Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
Rosina Moder. How are you? This is Dervan Malcolm.
Then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. All the time they are a
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Apologies to the caller who has been holding a while because we had to deal with some matters off air. Sorry about that. Hope he's still there. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I'm still here.
Great. Thanks for your patience. Let's pick it up where you left off.
Yes, sir. So, I want to ask you one question, and then since it's both sides of the story, I want your side of what I'm talking about. Basically, I want to ask you: is the Constitution, in your view, perfect? Is it a perfect document, or is it perfect?
People dynamic. People and that dynamism requires an environment that is pliable, that has the capacity to respond to the changing time. So it can never be a complete document because
Right.
at some point or another, there's going to be the need for an adjustment here or there.
Right. So the reason I asked that question, when these people who are championing human rights for the Constitution, it's like in their mind, that's just my mind, it's like the Constitution cannot be changed. Like it's just a perfect document. I'm
No,
sure
once
that
it is enforced, by all means, it
yes,
must be followed
right,
studiously.
yes. But when will the change come if there's not a debate about what needs to be changed and how it needs to be changed?
Isn't that what's supposed to be happening now as far as the Ministry of Legal Affairs and Constitutional Affairs? What's it? Legal, yeah.
As it relates to the British people and all these things, what I'm just talking about in general for the different things across the board, you know what I mean? Because there's so many things that needs to change. But to me, it seems like these people just don't believe that the Constitution it should just remain the same. And I think there are a lot of things that the founders or the writers did not envision as time go by. So I think there should be like something in place to constantly change this thing
No, but at the same time, you don't want it to be so fleeting, so uh, uh, haphazard, and let's just change this. All right, let's move this back. It shouldn't be schizophrenic
yes,
in its in carrying out its whatever amendments we would seek to carry out. It,
I understand, sir. I just wanted to make that point about. It's better for them to. Everybody is suffering, including the perpetrators. But if you give up your rights by taking away someone else's rights, then you just have to live with the consequences. That's just my opinion as it relates to that.
no, well, it goes without saying that actions have consequences, and those of us who run afoul of the law, one way or another, should face the consequences of those actions.
Yes, sir. Understood. Well, yes, sir. Thanks for listening, and have a blessed day.
Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 Good afternoon to Asha Ash. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in. Have a nice day. Same to you, Asha Ash. Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation is in touch with us as well. He says, good day, Dervan, and all listeners. To you too, Paul Miles. And Donovan Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon to you, Donovan Campbell. Thank you very much for your message. More to clear. Let's see. Chris Banton says, big up yourself, Sir Malcolm. I'm wondering if the General Secretary of the PNP, Dayton Campbell, going to reject the 300% that he will be getting for being a member of the ECJ. What's that? The Electoral Commission of Jamaica. One moment, please.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:13. Shad Ad Distributors are the island-wide distributors of the popular Maxxis tires, plus Sumitomo, Falcon, and Solidil. For batteries, Mayatsu, AC Delco, and for lubricants, it's Petro Canada. Visit us at 87 to 91 First Street, Newport West. Telephone 901-6612 or 383-4363. Shad Ad Distributors Limited, your place to retire. Your taxes hold the digital. Property taxes for 2023 are due April 1. Payments can be made by April 30 installments. Pay using these options online at jamaicatax.gov.jm, the THA mobile app, the mobile tax collection unit, NCB online banking, and Scotia online app. Call 888-TAX-HELP. That's 888-829-4357 or visit jamaicatax.gov.jm for details. Welcome to Your Legal Corner on Power 106 FM, your source of information for all matters regarding U.S. immigration. Call in with your questions and concerns on 876-922-41125. You can send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Time now for Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story, right here on Power 106 FM.
Indeed, it is a Thursday afternoon, just after 3:30. Your Legal Corner with attorney at law Dahlia Walker Huntington. And I didn't forget, I was just trying not to say, because I'm accustomed to having a couple of lawyers during the week. I was trying to make sure I said the right thing. Yes, indeed. It is a Thursday afternoon, just after 3:30. And that means time for Your Legal Corner with U.S. immigration attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Good afternoon to you, Miss Dahlia. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Dervan. I was really wondering if you forgot.
No, we have to be very careful with the ladies, you know. We don't want to make those kinds of mistakes. But anyway, seriously, it's good to talk with you listeners. If you have any questions at all with respect to U.S. immigration, you're at the right place at the right time. The numbers to call 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line 876-279-8598. That's also the WhatsApp number, the text and WhatsApp number, 876-279-8598. So you can send, we recognize that most of you prefer to send messages as opposed to call, where people will hear your voice, etc., and know it's you, etc. You want to have that privacy. That's fine. Feel free to send those text messages and WhatsApp messages to 876-279-8598. So, Miss Dahlia, I got the impression that with the end of was it 42? Title 42, that things have gotten rather orderly on the border. That's my initial impression.
That is what was being reported within a matter of about 12 hours of the date. I think it was May, I forgot the date that it actually happened. Because people got the message. People are using the process. The four main countries that are sending immigrants or migrants are Nicaragua, Venezuela, via the app and with their permission already in place. Because if they're from those countries and they show up, they're going to be turned away and they're going to face a fee to getting any kind of relief. So I think from that perspective, there was a lot of hype coming up, but there are always thousands of people at the border trying to come in. So the people who they expected to make a rush to the border, the majority of them got the message that they need to apply by the app, and they're doing so. And the others are being processed according to whatever the rules are that day. Because I don't practice a lot of border immigration. So when something comes up for me in my practice, I have to go and do research or ask a colleague. The people who do the majority of the border work are non-governmental organizations because they're at the border. They're funded to help the migrants in the border cities because, quite frankly, the majority of those people coming to the border cannot afford a private attorney. So they are serviced by these non-governmental organizations, or sometimes big firms will give their attorneys time off to immerse themselves in what's going on and to go to the border and assist. So when I say on any given day, the rules change there very frequently. So, as per whatever is going on right now, it has not caused an overcrowding at the border. But I shouldn't say it hasn't caused overcrowding, because there's always overcrowding. People who are let in have to be processed through these various centers, and there's just not enough space for everybody who comes in on a regular day. But what we have not seen is this mass confusion at the border, and thousands, that they were projecting 10,000 people a day, and I think they were between 4 and 6,000. So they're managing it, and it's not creating that photo or those images that are jarring of thousands of people crashing the border, more than what happens on a normal day, a regular day, I should say.
Yes. And is similar conditions at the other end? I'm thinking, I say the other end.
What do you mean?
In terms of what's the other border? Well, I mean, the one up north is pretty.
The Canadian border.
Right.
Right. Well,
they don't have those
border,
issues.
Pardon? No, they don't see the mass of people, because remember that the majority of those people are coming from the south. Right. So they're walking from whatever country that feeds them into Mexico. So they're walking, which is what we saw some news reports a few weeks ago, that Jamaicans were flying to Belize and different countries and walking from there, connecting and then walking through that horrible Darien Pass to get into Mexico. So those people, the Canadian border is not accessible to them. Doesn't mean that the Canadian border does not see requests for refugees from the Middle East and Africa who fly into Canada and then present themselves at the northern border trying to come across.
I see. Here's a message coming through. Listeners, this is your legal corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. You are free to call. The lines are open, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-279-8598. That's 876-279-8598. So here's a message for you, Miss Dahlia. Good day, Dahlia. I am a nurse working in the UK. My US visa expires in November. I am coming to Jamaica for a month, October. Do you think when I return to Jamaica, I could renew my visa and get back my passport in time to return to the UK?
Well, I would say to this person that they need to apply now. They're going to get a date outside of the time frame that they want during the month of October. Apply, get the date, and then make a request to the embassy to facilitate the visa application during that period, because it's a temporary visit to Jamaica, considering that the person is employed in Europe, and ask them to facilitate changing it. Yeah, but they don't wait until you need the appointment. Apply now, see whatever date you get, and start working on the embassy, because the chances are you're going to have to contact them more than once to get a response.
Okay. And something else has happened recently. Things have changed somewhat, whereas previously unvaccinated people or unvaccinated people were not allowed to enter the United States unless they had some kind of documentation having to do with some health condition, etc. That that changed relatively recently, didn't it?
Uh, yes, it changed just around the same time as Title 42 was lifted, because it was all a sort of outgrowth of that, limiting who can come into the US for health reasons. So on May 12th, they terminated the requirement that if you're coming in as a non immigrant, you needed to provide evidence that you were vaccinated for the against the COVID-19 virus. So that requirement is lifted. So you are free to now come into the United States without having to show that you've been vaccinated against COVID 19.
Okay. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, this is your legal corner during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's an opportunity for you to get your questions answered, your U.S. immigration questions. Any questions, any issues, any concerns, any situations with respect to U.S. immigration. This is the place, this is the time. Here are the numbers once again: 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number: 876 279 8598. 876 279 8598. And I see a couple of people in the process of writing messages. We see them typing, and we will check back with those. In the meantime, though, Ms. Dahlia, with respect to any new developments with respect to uh, the the visa, the general visa application, non-immigrant visa applications coming out of the U.S. Embassy?
No, it's the same. The only change that I've heard in the last couple of weeks is that appointments are opening up for 2023. Because about a month ago or so, you made a visa appointment, you were getting it dates in 2024. You are able to go into your file and request and see if there are earlier dates and change the appointment. So if you have an appointment for 2024, you can go in and see if you're able to change it. So hopefully that means that the embassy is increasing its capacity. But I have a feeling the capacity fluctuates in terms of personnel and the ability to see X number of people per day to process them for visa appointments.
Mm-hmm. And how are things on the political front as far as U.S. immigration is concerned? Pretty quiet now?
Well, the media drives so much of what is in the public discourse, and the media has sort of moved away from that constant border story, leading the news, leading every news, leading up to the end of Title 42. So that has died down somewhat, but the fact is that, in the state of Florida, where I am, and so many other millions of immigrants are and undocumented, the governor did sign his immigration, quote unquote, immigration bill into law that puts in some restrictions in the state of Florida for the undocumented. I understand from the news today that the governor is expected to announce shortly that he will be running for president. And, those in the political circles all see his actions as a lead up to what his campaign is going to be like, against anti-immigrant, anti-minority, anti-diversity, stopping the teaching of certain diversity topics in school, having diversity departments in universities, having
Sorry, one
and
moment, Miss
sorry.
Dahlia. One moment,
Sure.
please.
Mhm.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:46 on Power 106.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner, your source of information on all matters regarding U.S. immigration. You can call in with your questions and concerns on 876-922-41125. You can send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Now, back to Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM, an opportunity for those who have U.S. immigration questions to call in and to message us. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line and the WhatsApp number are one and the same. So you can not only send us your text messages, you can also send us your WhatsApp messages. And the number once again, 876-279-8598. 876-279-8598. So go ahead and place those calls and send us your messages if you have any questions at all to do with U.S. immigration. Now would be a good time for you to call or message us here on Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. And still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, once again, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-279-8598. 876-279-8598. And Ms. Dale, if we could just pick up where we left off, you were talking
Sure,
about,
I was,
yes,
listing all the things about the governor of the state of Florida. But let me just say something about Florida, because I know a lot of people have been nervous in the immigrant community, our community, and others in the state because of what the bill is supposed to, represent. One thing I want to point out, the news media has been saying that, and it's true that if a medical facility accepts Medicaid from the government, they are required to now ask you, starting July 1st, your immigration status when you go for treatment. So you go to the ER or you having a procedure done, the hospital now has to ask you what's your immigration status. One, we can refuse to answer. We still have to treat you. You can decline to answer. I personally am going to decline to answer if I have to go to the hospital just on a point of order. I'm not telling you what my status is because I don't have to. Secondly, if you do tell them that you are undocumented, they cannot report to the governor or to anyone that John Brown came to the hospital, we treated him, and he's undocumented. What they're going to use that information for is to feed in a general category how many persons came who were undocumented and were treated and didn't have insurance. How many people were citizens were treated and didn't have insurance. This has some other agenda to it, possibly to cut funding from the hospital. I don't know, but you do not have to answer when you go. You can say, I refuse to answer. Whether you're documented or not, they can't refuse to treat you. So I just want to point that out because, people are going to be hesitant to go to the doctor and to the hospital if they need care because they're undocumented and they're going there is going to lead to them being apprehended. So please put that aside. Go and get the care that you need and the medical attention if you need it.
Very useful information there, Ms. Dahlia. Thank you very much. Let's take a call. 876-922-4112 Your Legal Corner here during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Mrs. Bailey, good afternoon. I'd like to know, I have a family in the United States. They applied for a citizenship over past 5 years. They're up there for about over 12 years now. But they were denied not getting it. I don't know what they involved, some form of, I don't know if it was not a federal charge or anything, but they was turned down. So I'd like to find out how long does it take them again to apply? They are now working there and paying tax and in the system after they were denied. So that's my question.
So they were denied because they had a criminal...
no, not a criminal record. It was not criminal. I don't know if it's a fight or... But it wasn't anything...
You don't know if it's what?
It was not fight. It was not a criminal record. But they didn't get the citizenship. So I'd like to know how long...
I would need to know why. I would need to know why they didn't get their citizenship and if they should apply again and when they can. Yeah, okay. I would need to know. You can find out or have them call next week. I need to know why they were denied their citizenship.
Oh, what is the matter? All right, thank you very much.
What was the cause? Yes.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and our host on Your Legal Corner is U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Here's another call for you, Ms. Dahlia. Good afternoon. Go ahead for Ms. Dahlia, please.
Oh, good afternoon. I have two questions. My mom applied for my sisters. One was unmarried, two were married. The one that's married right now, the visa is presently at the Kingston location. They had sent an email to say it's there. But it's approaching that 1 year period since we last paid for the last, application. What's the best way to contact them for a date? That's number one. Number two, the other two sisters that were not approved, how can we get those two cases started to see if we can get them approved? I'm willing to do a 402 or affidavit of support on my mom's behalf. She passed away, actually.
Okay, so if the petitioner has died, was the National Visa Center notified that the petitioner died?
Yes, because I did a 402 for my sister that was unmarried, and they approved it. And yes, so they are aware.
So now her thing is documentarily qualified, and she's waiting on an appointment.
Right.
Okay. So if she's waiting on an appointment, you just have to wait. You just have to wait until the embassy has the space to accommodate her, assuming that a visa is available for her, meaning that the priority date is current.
Oh, okay. They did say that, send an email to say that they have sent the visa back to the Kingston location, so it's there for her.
Okay.
But I'm just nervous that it's approaching a year.
The file, not the visa. Okay. Not the visa, ma'am, the file. So now she'll be called in for an interview again. The other two, I would not know what to tell you. I would have to find out what is the status, what is the holdup, where are they in the system. We'd have to find out what's going on before we can tell you how to move forward. So that's not something, because every case is different. I wouldn't know what's going on with their file until I investigate each one individually.
Okay, I do have the case number, so how do I contact you to get that an answer and see how we can get them approved?
Sure. In the US, my phone number is 954-963-8555. It's 954-963-8555. And in Jamaica, it's 876-969-9666. That's 969-9666. You can call and schedule a consultation at either of those numbers.
Thank you. Let me repeat, 954 876-963-8555 or 876-969-9666.
Correct. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington, here during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. Any immigration matters that you have of a U.S. nature, any U.S. immigration matters, this is the place, this is the time. And let's take another call. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Delia Walker Huntington is listening. Go ahead, but you have to turn off that radio in the background. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So my brother went to the embassy yesterday, right?
Who went to the embassy?
My brother.
Okay.
So was there and everything.
Sorry, the line is not so good. I wonder if you could make some adjustments to the device that you're using, because the signal is weak. Yes, go ahead. There's also some noise in your background, which is not helping. But go ahead. Let's see if we can manage.
He was at the embassy yesterday, and they asked him if he visited the US before. So he said yes. So they told him to have a seat, and he had a seat. So they were there searching for information on that. So when they told him to come back to the place, the room, they gave him a green paper. So it wasn't this first time between refused. So he just took the green paper and he asked her why he got refused. So she said everything is on the paper. So the first green paper that he got the first time he went, it didn't say why he got refused. So this one, he never knows him to just look funny to see. So when he come out the place now, we were reading it and it say it was INA 212A2I. You are permanently eligible for an non-immigrant visa. Yes, non-immigrant visa due to your conviction of crime involving moral turpitude. So when we were reading it, we were saying, no, this is not him because he not have no record. He never killed nobody nor nothing. So we tried.
Yeah, but has he ever been arrested? Has he ever been arrested?
No.
Okay. All right. So you would that's not something we could solve on the radio. You know, your brother would have to do a consultation and come in to see how we would respond to that. It might be a case of mistaken identity. Was he ever arrested in the U.S.? He's been to the U.S. before. Was he ever arrested in the U.S.?
No, he went when he was I think it was 7. He went to Disney World.
Okay, all right. So we have to figure out what has happened. So I take it he's had a visa before. So they're saying that he's been arrested for a crime involving moral turpitude. So he would need a waiver before he can get a visa. But we would need to take a look at it and interview your brother in detail to see if there's anything in his past that could have come up that they're using against him. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Delia.
You can give us a call at 876-969-9666. 876-969-9666.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling.
All right, ma'am.
All the best. Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Delia. We're there where it's the end of today's edition of Your Legal Corner. Thanks as usual. A lot of ground covered.
Yes, my pleasure, Dervan. Thank you for the opportunity to reach out to your listeners.
And I'm sure you've given out the number, but just for emphasis, for those who'd like to make contact with with your...
Sure. In the U.S., we practice immigration law any state, anywhere in the U.S. 954-963-8555, 954-963-8555, and in Jamaica, it's 876-969-9666, 969-9666. All right, looking forward to next week.
Same here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good. Take care. And that concludes this week's edition of Your Legal Corner with U.S. immigration attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM.
You've just listened to Your Legal Corner, your source of information for all matters regarding U.S. immigration. Join us next Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story, right here on Power 106 FM. At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4:02 on Power 106.
Labor Day 2023, that I decree. Just mark down the day, Tuesday, May 23. Right time to plant a tree. Start weed out the place. Grab a lax, grab a shovel, make we green up the skate. Fruit tree, shade tree, make we plant it there. It no matter if it big or if it little, yeah. Ready up, listen and follow me there. Make us so 99.9% of shade where they bought from the tree, them they round ya. Big up the people who plant up the trees years ago. Now we know, say the action, the wiser. More cheap food security, I run up. Go on in the yard, plant a tree and make it come up. Shade it out of the wind and the summer now go burn up. We a plant up the tree so we environment a turn up.
This Labor Day, May 23, plant a tree for life. Promoting climate change, food security, and road safety. A message from the Labor Day Secretariat.
Plant a fruit tree this Labor Day. In observance of Labor Day 2023, the National Irrigation Commission Limited invites you to collect a fruit tree from any of its offices island-wide to plant. This initiative is part of the National Labor Day project to boost climate resilience and food security. The fruit trees will be available for your collection from Monday, May 15 to Monday, May 22, 2023.
Que ahora es en español, son las 4:04. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:04. 现在地点了4点04分。4 minutes past 4 o'clock. House 32 Lyndhurst Road, K5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get up. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Driver in America has been holding for 52 minutes and 55 seconds. Good afternoon. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brad Dervan. How's everything?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, Doctor. Yes, Sister Adelia Dervan, revolutionary from back in the days of... I would have asked her a question, but nonetheless, I try to catch her another week, But, Brother Dervan, your piece on Hugh Lawson, Shearer, one of the giants I regard him as in Jamaica's history, was very well, you illustrated it, his contribution and everything very well. But I look at it like this. From here to here, where we have people, first of all, look at this, Brad Dervan. Does the governor of the Bank of Jamaica need to be paid more than the U.S. president?
Well, I don't know the basis on which they arrive at some of these numbers. One would imagine there is a system.
Yeah, well, Brother Ralston, he's not going to just talk these things, and that is what he stated, I made comparisons to many others who we're going to get raises that exceeded people, in the U.S.
Oh yes, there are a lot of instances of that.
Yes. Okay. So, it's relative at this particular point. But against the backdrop of the prevailing economic conditions internationally and locally, these raises are being put forward. And I don't know what wages come from labor, right? In pure economic terms. Labor and wages, that's the relationship. So, how do they, what labor do we see being put forward as far as governing our nation that we're seeing? What labor has been invested that, requires these salaries that are being proposed?
Well, they've harkened back to 1973 and coming up, when there were certain systems in place or certain procedures. We're getting a lot of noise from your driver.
Yeah, yes, I'm moving along here as usual, but is it clearer now?
Yes, clearer now. Right. So what I've heard so far is talk. They've been taking us back to 1973 and coming up, and some the procedures that were in place that should have resulted in certain emoluments being properly put together, and because of budgetary constraints, a lot of what has been done in terms of these salaries, they see the opportunity now as the best opportunity to bring these conditionalities to light and to make them available to MPs and so on and so forth.
Well, Dervan, they can weave all their legalese and such and everything. At the end of the day, it comes down to the realities on the ground. The government, successive administrations have been underperforming, bringing Jamaica to its present state, and it's unconscionable. Totally, just out of order to be talking about. And raises on this scale of the magnitude that they're proposing is ridiculous. And there's nothing
it's not a proposal at all. It is.
Okay, and that takes me to Richard's question. And I saw him coloring it in political thing, but I'm gonna just make it general because the two of them put together can't make one. Let's say multiply 2 halves, you get a quarter, So, and they're not even up to half. But and I base this, and everybody want to argue with it. The result is in what we're seeing in our nation, the infrastructure, the decay. That is, and when somebody can argue against it and say this is so contest-free,
Yeah, and they also put forward.
What Richard said was, who is going to refuse it? And everybody loved to run around and say the honorable and the honorable and the honorable. An honorable individual in this case would refuse it as a matter of, I forgot the terminology, but just out of conscience. Refused it. Let me see which one of them gonna stand up and say no.
Well, the opposition had an opportunity, but apparently the wrong speaker spoke, because Julian Robinson said essentially we don't see anything wrong with it. It's pretty, yes.
Yes, showing you which is why everybody running around and talking about green and orange. is the same people. You know, what see, brother Dervan,
Yes.
they have a whole thing, where they say take sleep back then. And a lot of people look at it, it's not restricted to just that.
Yes.
It's looking at what is presented and extrapolating from that.
What is likely to happen going forward? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
And when we see, another way of putting it, they would say it's a Freudian slip.
Yes.
What you really mean to say.
Mm-hmm.
And that come out.
Right.
So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. There was even a similar incident with the whole thing about the constitutional review and stuff like that the other day. Both parties, they're not different. All you people who claim you're this, I did that, I did that, I did this. When you wrap yourself, when you become binary, as Dr. Deal said, either this or either, objectively look at the issue and say Jamaica first. People like to dismiss Zimbabwe, but because he's a man of principle, and that is what I was saying, to refuse the raise on principle,
Mm-hmm.
So people don't like that. They like people who follow, and when he called yesterday, and he was so eloquent, saying a lot of, and I don't like to come up against people, but you all who want to defend this race, stand up and do it in good conscience against the economic backdrop, the realities that are facing our nation now. Teacher, all of these people, who are the backbone of the nation, are these gluttons who, run and get up to the head. You always, every time you said there's a trap over Jamaica, laughing about Dervan. And I wish you, if I might sidebar, I wish you would do some more of that, the weather thing you used to do. It was quite, you did a very good job with it, man. I miss that. When you would go into explaining and, just giving us an understanding of the whole science, meteorology, So if you could, give us a little bit more of that again. But every time I hear about this trial, I say, even this is why the people are acting like this. Because where you find troughs frequently, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's furniture in your pigsty and your stuff like that. You know what I mean?
People will help wherever there's a trough. People will help themselves.
And not with any egalitarian intent or consideration. It's just who can go up in front and yam the most. And
the word is, I think the word is rapacious.
Brother Dervan, yes, as brother said, in more elegant language. But it just gets me to a point where I don't feel like being any eloquent or anything like that about the brother Dervan, because it's just there, raw in our faces. And you know why I'm feeling this way about it, brother Dervan? When you look at the situation down in Sudan and places like that.
Hold a moment. Let's come back to Sudan after the break. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h15. 现在几点了？4点15分. 15 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Linter 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's go back to Driver. Thank you for holding the line. Go ahead. Yes.
Nearer to home. My daughter, she just returned from an internship in South Africa and Namibia. The same one that I was saying COVID had interrupted her chances for
Yes.
internship, and when you helped your friend who was a big official in the health department up in Toronto was on, and I sent a message to ask if he could put forward any suggestions of where she might approach an internship because of the COVID. Never hear anything from him, but just to show we know in a big nothing, she just come back, did graduate internship, and basically the reason I bring that up is because even one day she got mashed down, called me down in Namibia, said, "Boy, Daddy, we can't go out there to the Amal again tomorrow, because they were, fishermen bringing 2 babies that people throw in the river to the orphanage where she was working, and stuff like that, and it just mash her down. Say, hey, know where you come from, so you make out that. And she went back all the time, she did it and stuff like that, but things like that, 13-year-old, and I'm going to put this with the 15-year-old, and I'm putting all of this to show the state of our nation right now, the 15-year-old that's missing with the 10-month-old baby. So if we do the math, this individual got impregnated at around 14 or maybe even 13,
Yes.
and it's a criminal matter as I see it, more than her being missing. But nonetheless, that's we're becoming comfortable with all of these kinds of things. Our nation is.
Yeah,
we go back to Namibia again.
Yeah.
She was.
Too many of us have become so numb when it comes down to these situations.
The reason, and that is all. It's a slow rot that takes place.
Yes.
And the nation is just decay and decay and decay. I'm going back to you, Lance and Shira, the great man, because when I was, coming, getting sense and realizing and hearing, what this man was doing as far as the nation as a little youth, and even in retrospect, this is when I can fully appreciate it. Even as an internationalist, a unionist, that kind of thing, a total all-around Jamaican man. Nobody can nail and cross. Yes, but, these are the names I want to hear when people talking about who become national hero and not some people who, And again, it's just, Brother Dervan, we just fooled by the color. And instead of standing up for the black, green, and gold, a lot of us who are consider ourselves intelligent or should know better, our leaders will throw Jamaica under the bus just for their individual interests and stuff like that. Meanwhile, we have this society with so much potential just eroding.
Yes.
I can't accept that, Brother Dervan. Instead of you standing there, and I'm saying people have good conscience, Jamaicans, let us see which politicians are going to stand up as a matter of principle against this pay rise, because it doesn't make any sense in these economic times.
Yeah.
It's 12% of the GDP. The 12 o'clock news said these raises would be 12% of Jamaica's GDP, Brother Dervan, in total.
Yeah.
You know what 12% of the GDP could do for the nation as far as infrastructure development, education, etc., etc.?
Quite a bit.
And these people, a lot of them, like the governor, whose salary exceeds the president of the USA, the bank governor, you can't do without that salary. I remember when Bloomsburg granted, he's like way out there in the stratosphere as far as wealth. And said, we're only going to take $1 to be the mayor of New York. Why can't we see these people who, have wealth overflowing?
Yes.
Why can't we see them make such gestures, Brother Dervan?
Yeah, I think in the past, maybe on 1 or 2 occasions, politicians have taken pay cuts or committed to taking pay cuts, but a couple of times in our history, I believe.
I could go on and on and on. You know what I mean? But look, 12% of GDP. And this is the finance minister who is so intelligent enough to sit down and come up with this. Which is why I say, you know what I mean, people, you know what I mean? Einstein said this theory of relativity, everything is relative. Because I think we're taking it too far, you know, in terms of, you know, just the adjectives that we use to describe people. Because, you know, how does it go? By your deeds shall the individual be known. You know, and it is all out there for everybody to see. And people, if we can, and people say it over and over and over, but coming out of that thing with the journalists the other day with the wear, which shirt go with their and this and that, dance over and over, I realized just how stupid, and I'm not going to be elegant about it, how politically stupid so many of us are still. People who would be otherwise considered quite intelligent.
Yeah.
And when the horn blow, when the bell ring, they just revert to this stupidity and utter it for all to hear without apology. You know? And I can't accept in my twilight years now that this is what is going to happen to Jamaica. These leaders, you know, just carpetbaggers, charlatans, whatever you want to call them, because I don't see a lot of them. Yes, there are those exceptions, but the result, like if West Indies go up a play, you can't say, hey, the man makes 100, the man makes 100 when we lose. Right, Brother Dervan?
Mm-hmm.
They're excellent players, but we're a team. It's not the individual, it's a team. And I have to speak about the political teams who have been at the crease and have brought Jamaica to the present score, you know? And the game is not over, thank God. But defeat is not an option. And I'm saying to the people, not speaking to government or anything again, because as you see, them hang them own self with their own actions and their words. You can see and if you look around Jamaica, breaking down daily, you know, as Voice of New York say, you know, we're not talking about no hotel thing. We're talking about people who come and have an investment in Jamaica. Want to sit down and wait on the system that won't move to get things done. And, you know, there's a case with a property. It's like every year my sister go down. Thank God that she had deal with that case because I can't believe it. Go, judge dismiss the case. Come back next November. You know how much it cost my sister to take time out from our job and come to Jamaica? Oh, lawyer never. The last time she went in November, the other party's lawyer, father sick. Is there any way to run these kinds of issues, Brother Dervan? And you have to turn around, come back, spend how much money, come back to Jamaica and come back. And it's yours, but the court just doesn't want to move it along because the individual can't show anything to prove their position. They're trying to capture a property, and thank God, you know, God just came on and we intervened at that time when, you know, we catch them with them hand in at the till, as they would say, you know? But that's the way it works, and these are the same judiciary and them who them, when I'm saying prestige and risk, they're entitled to a raise. You know, come on. People of Jamaica, you're going to just sit and let these people just... Why? It's shocking. I can't believe we're just sitting and just letting these things happen, Brother Dervan.
Yeah, well, the consensus, what I've heard is that people are upset. People are bitter, but at the same time, they don't want the environment or the conditions or the state to the state of affairs to to be so messed up that they add to whatever problems we're already trying to deal with. I think that is what I'm picking up based on calls that I've heard to talk shows and a couple of information I've seen in the print media as well. People seem to be saying, look, by all means, because I see a couple of videos online right now of taxis with their trunks, with the hood opened, and they're parked up in halfway tree. I don't know if that's a stale video or if that's relatively recently, but and there's another group of people in full black and holding their placards just out by St. Andrew High School for girls. So I'm not sure if those are current, but we get the impression that people are prepared to let their voices be heard, but they don't wish for the conditions to deteriorate so badly that it adds to the misery that people are already experiencing.
Let us pray that, it can be such, Brother Dervan, but at the rate that these people are going, it won't be a controlled result. It won't, because they're pushing it, they're really pushing this thing too far. They're just going, like, totally aloof. I won't even say aloof. When it is, Brother, but they think that they've succeeded in dumbing our nation down because we've sat silent for so long and allowed so much to not take place as far as our development. And I think especially the other day with that election where such a small percentage of people, political engineering is successful and they can take all these liberty with us. But thanks to those who are standing up and letting them know we're awake and we're watching, and you better take stock. And I will conclude with this, brother. Go on YouTube, search the band Revolutionaries in the true sense of the word. In another time, when Jamaica didn't name Jamaica, as people would say, they have a song, "You're playing us too close."
Okay.
All of you people who with your reason not doing what we elect you to do or what you're in office to do, and put on your basket and say, hey, we just collect my, you better get up and put in some work or be prepared to be replaced, because Jamaica has too much of a divine destiny for it to become what you have made it.
Let's leave it.
Playing us too close.
Let's leave it there for now. Thank you very much for the call. All the best.
Everything good, brother Dervan. One love.
All right.
Love you, Jamaica.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness, your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-4112 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction.
Power 106 Studios, good afternoon.
8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
Hello? Que ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 29. 现在几点了？5点12分。 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I suppose that is how driver keeps awake by having these long distance conversations.
I hear you.
Mr. Malcolm, you know, I know this time is short. The bauxite industry and the tourism industry, I believe, they have been negative for Jamaica. Looking back over the 60 years past, I believe the bauxite industry and the tourism industry, they are just extractive industries, both of them. And Jamaica has gotten zero.
No, we can't say zero.
Okay.
Because as of now, we're told it's now at 40 cents of every dollar stays in Jamaica. That's what the tourism minister has told us. That it's 40 cents. Coming from 30 cents.
All right, sir. I do withdraw. Nevertheless, I still say that it is not vastly substantial. It could have been much better.
Sure.
We have got no schools, no hospitals, nothing much really. And the point of all this, sir, is I think we should put more money in agriculture. Okay. That's what I think. I think it would bring more benefits.
You know, so many people from so many backgrounds and professions and thinking have said that, but it's as if that one is a hard nut to crack in terms of getting it up and going in such a way that it is sustainable and it is productive.
It can be so because it will employ lots of young people and it will force the road system to improve, and it will do so much good. And when you bear in mind, sir, that it was that slavery brought in billions to England. Slavery brought in billions to England. Why can't the Jamaican government enslave agriculture and bring in billions to Jamaica? You know what I mean? One has to talk so straight because it is so difficult to get them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Spend money in agriculture. There's no nation on earth. There's no nation on earth or in history that can survive without agriculture and without proper investment in agriculture. And they know this. Okay, sir. Goodbye.
Thanks for the call. Your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello? That person got tired of holding. So let's try another line. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. No? Oh, let's go again. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my professor.
Welcome.
Mr. Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
The first assignment, let me do it in order. I want you to meet with the board of your board that govern your station. I'll write them a letter telling them that your subscribers, both home and abroad, they want to sponsor you to teach the Jamaican people financial literacy. And we need you sometime out of the studio to come in certain strategic locations to help us to do the heavy lifting. And we'll pay you to leave the studio and the cameras to come with you. We will create a fund of $2 million and wherever it marks, I pop. And you just tell us when it's done. And if the program is successful, we will continue it. The first assignment I have for you, Mr. Malcolm, is to visit the coronation market.
I would love for you to visit that market district, and I want you to invite with you the Bureau of Standards and the KSAC Sanitary Department and the Ministry of Health and the Tax Office. Those four entities can come on board with us, the people out here, and start fixing this economy from bottoms up and teach the liquor man financial literacy. Mr. Malcolm. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Malcolm. Anytime we have tell life on this program, and I listen to your station again, Mr. Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know the lie thing like you know, say, the bank are not supposed to tell you a lie, you know. Your accountant not supposed to tell you a lie, you know. Your prime minister not supposed to tell you a lie or hide no secret from you, you know. Your wife not supposed to tell you a lie, you know. Your pastor not supposed to tell you a lie. But these people take life as a joke. Mr. Malcolm, the system is going digital and cashless, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The Prime Minister has gotten those orders from the World Economic Forum. All the money come checking the other day when we go Guterres.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about Asian crisis. Them just put the Asian crisis on the front burner to create a misdemeanor. You come checking about the digital economy, yeah? That was one of the things on them agenda to talk about, because the BRICS are winning the war. And America is in a debt crisis now. He don't know what to do with his debt because he can't pay back China. China selling out all the American treasuries because they're dumping it. 4,000 Russian die already in the war, and Vladimir Putin telling them that he needs 400,000 more Russian children to go into Ukraine and defend the motherland because the NATO want to capture Russia and turn the Russian people into soulless slaves. Who is a soulless slave, my professor?
A soulless slave.
Never hear the term soulless slave?
Yeah, it sounds like it speaks for itself.
When it says speak for itself, many people in Chilani know what a soulless slave is, my professor.
Perhaps one that is has been deprived of his sense of self and sense of purpose.
Thank you. Welcome. You know, the first time that term was used was in the North Atlantic trade with black people, African people. The English took us here and said they turned us into soulless slaves. Mr. Malcolm, these diatic PNP and diatic GLP, you know they will put you into slavery.
If you allow people to do that, they will gladly.
No. If you allow people to do that, they will do it gladly.
Yes.
Why?
Because that's the nature of mankind.
No. Mr. Malcolm, I want you to come down a Coronation Market. We're going to set up the fund first before you move. We're serious. 1,000 out there who listen to this program. Go and tell your neighbor, go and tell your friend that they need to come on board with us. We're going to tour Jamaica with both sides of the story. And we're going to the first place we're going is in Coronation Market to sensitize those Coronation Market people. How we can help them in the agriculture industry? What can the common man do? Because I'm never leaving with this is a short program. You know that the cash pot money, when them gamble every day and you see them a gamble. You know say, when that money come in and the taxes come in and the government see how much money we are gamble with, them say we are idiot. Oh, we have so much money and gamble. That's one of the money when them are used to fat up to them salary. Because them say them have better use than it. And we have to find a way to use that gambling dollar and help these farmers so that we can get, even when you do a Coronation Market, you can get our mango juice to buy in the distilleries passed by the Bureau of Standards. You don't think that can be done, Mr. Malcolm?
Anything is possible.
Another thing never leave you with. Four Jamaican billionaires died through the pandemic, you see? 4 of them. not calling a name. And one of them had liver cancer. You know me tell you? He had liver cancer. And when the members of the cabinet went to look for him with the liver cancer, he what the chief minister said. Well, I don't want dead like this at all. You know what they do with the Jamaican people? They are transferring stress to us and they are transferring our wealth to them. Because when the Prime Minister is to come and tell the Jamaican people about this mixed program and this digital economy, they're going to take away your cash, your dirty cash, and they're going to turn it into digital trash. And we have to be ready for them, you know, Mr. Malcolm. Because they don't have them army in place, and them police force in place, and them judges in place to lock us all up and kill us off. This is war. Mr. Malcolm, you're going to need a bodyguard, you know. Mr. Dervan Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
I hope I'm not being presumptuous and you're showing them a boss. I'm really you know, Mr. Malcolm. You're one of my professors here, you know. You're going to need a bodyguard. We never caught him. We don't need no bodyguard. We don't need no bodyguard. We can't bodyguard me. But me have telling you this, you know. You say we will take to the street and show these people in a peaceful manner so we see about this economy. All who are in a Tivoli garden, the little baby was in a Tivoli garden and jungle, and not ball about PNP and GLP. Someone have a child they never born out of the mother's womb. Because we never know, say, that's a mankind wicked. The Russian people serious, you know. And the Chinese people very serious, you know. Alright, look where we're going the 1st of June. When they raise the minimum wage. Look how China going to have black man on you. You're not going to hear that in a minute. We want you in the whole of downtown Kingston. We are going to buy out a program now. We want you to the whole market district of downtown. We want you to walk the street with us and show the people the condition of the market district in downtown. And YouTube so that the diaspora will know what is going on in this country. Can you take up that job for us, Mr. Malcolm?
That's something to be taken with advisement.
Yeah, because we want to know. Hey, we are living with this, my guru, my professor. You ever hear about a corporate buyout?
Yeah.
What is a corporate buyout, my professor?
Again, that one is pretty much self-explanatory. Corporate, as in a group, a coming together of individuals to achieve a particular end, and if it means taking control of a particular entity for the purpose of fulfilling that end, then so be it.
Thank you. You know, the only way you can get money is to earn it, borrow it, steal it, or inherit. And you know what Saddam Hussein said to them before them kill him? Because you know when them going for Saddam Hussein, the first thing them do is change the money for Saddam Hussein and have him bankrupt, Mr. Malcolm. The money on the Jamaican people, and they're going to go cash, and they will have control of all the money. That's the order they get from the World Economic Forum, and they are willing to use the army and the police to defend the Jamaican dollar. That's what they talk in the cabinet. To be continued, people. This is war.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Catch live action of the 5th
talked to our daughter, which is a trained teacher, tell me that there is nothing wrong in using the word. And I say, no, sir. Regarding he's a trained teacher, well, my outside broadcaster who's normally on the radio, let me speak for one of them and get the official or the original of the word. So I am now speaking to you so that I can confirm it to her that based on what you tell me as a trained teacher.
It's not me, it's the Oxford. I'm the type of person, I'll go as far, and I've done it before, I'll go as far as to call Oxford University Press and to clarify pronunciation or whatever else I don't understand or I'm not clear on. I've done that. In fact, the Oxford University Press used to sponsor a feature during both sides of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Dervan, you explain everything to me as possibly as clearly. So I'm going to need that and next question go nothing at all.
All right. Thank you very much for the call.
One question, but I wish not to ask you. Hold it for question pile. Or we can ask you the next last one.
What's that now?
So when we speak about the High Court of the land and we hear Parliament here and speak of this is the High Court of the land, it is the court or it is a court?
I don't know of it being a court. I know about the separation of powers, the judiciary, the executive, etc., etc. It's a term that people have used, and what you'll find is from time to time, people hang on to some terms and turns of phrases that kept in their lexicon, their for whatever effect. So it's people have used that. I've heard them using it, but I don't know if Parliament being no highest court in the land. It's
okay. So when we speak about Parliament, we look at the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary.
Yes.
That's what make up the three branch of government.
Yeah.
And Mr. Dervan, what does the executive do?
Govern.
And the legislator?
Make laws.
So the executive make policy and run the country then.
Mm-hmm.
And the judiciary interprets and applies the law.
That's right.
Okay. Just to check out something, Mr. Dervan, because when I come to you, you always guide me in a professional way, which I expect to drop off a track.
We hear you.
Yes, please.
Thanks for the call.
Yes, please.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-Jamaica.com. Velta Wilson, good afternoon to you. Natalie Winter, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Barrington Deuce says, now we understand why... all right, why... whomever... And that, all right, somebody's trying to be funny here. Well, all right, you can continue being hilarious on your own. I'm not helping you or joining you in that. And with the name that you have put here as well, we are not going to go there. But thank you for your message nonetheless. Lisa Brown Campbell says, Neville sure is passionate. Always enjoy hearing East Central as well. Galloway Kevin, good afternoon to you. Ren Rowe says, good evening, Sir Malcolm and listeners. Just stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. Courtney Thompson, well, thank you very much for your message. Morgan Baylor asks, why this guy background gotta be so noisy? Get to a quiet place, then call. Patrick Howell says, please end your program with the song Vampire by Peter Tosh. Tosh knew that these days would come. Yeah, well, not sure if we'll be able to fit that in. It's not something that we do lightly in terms of the selections, but we'll see. Patrick says, I wasn't expecting rejection of this massive raise by the PSOJ. These people are in the same bed and take Jamaicans for fool. He also says both PNP and JLP are the same. Jamaicans must rise up and realize that there are no good in these two parties. They are three-card men. Dwight Spence says, bless up to all. Enid McCleary says, a pleasant afternoon to you. Oh, this, I think she wanted Dahlia Walker Huntington to answer a question. So sorry. So sorry that we didn't get a chance to put your question to Dahlia Walker Huntington. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Thursday, the 18th of May, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care. Bye.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news